Hey, Wednesday mentors. It is time for your roundup on what's coming up this next Wednesday. It's the first Wednesday in spring break, so I have no idea how many kids are going to show up or not. We'll just see. We are going to be there and mentor these kids who are here with a lesson on the Ten Commandments. We've done a little bit with Moses as a baby and with the plagues, and now we're doing the final lesson on Moses, the Ten Commandments. And for those of you who haven't picked it up yet, we are chronologically going through the Old Testament. We're just going at Genesis and working our way through. One of the things that we are aiming for as a kids ministry is biblical literacy. And a lot of kids don't know the Bible story, the big Bible story, as it goes from beginning in Genesis all the way to Revelation. So that's the reason we're doing this, and Superbook has enough content that we can really progress all the way through. So thanks for consistently going through this book of Genesis, and we're getting into Exodus. It's going to help the kids know their Bibles better. All right, let's see what's on deck for our lesson this week. Okay, as I mentioned, we're doing the Ten Commandments. Our super truth is I will love God. And that's obviously one of the big things that we have here at Lakeview Kids. Love God, love others. And the Deuteronomy verse, love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, and strength, is obviously the core verse for loving God. So we're hitting that this week. In the Superbook video, Chris actually does a great job of illustrating what happens when we break the rules. And Chris ignores some of the rules at the camp and ends up getting stuck in a cave. So it's a great illustration of the consequences that happen when we disobey the commands that God gives us. And as you're teaching about obedience, this is a theme you want to come back to, is that the laws God has for us are for our good, and that they provide for us and they protect us. And so laws aren't meant to keep us down or to control us, but they are there for our good. And so obedience becomes something that we do out of love for God, not because we have to. So in our first game, we're going to try to tie the link between God's provision and good things for us. We're going to have two umbrellas flipped upside down, and we're going to be tossing popcorn, that's the manna from heaven, into the umbrellas and seeing how many you can do in a certain number of seconds, right? And all the time we're talking about how God's provision of manna was a way that he took care of them, and when they obeyed, good things happened. And then we're going to ask the kids, how else did God provide? How have we seen God provide in the video there? And they're going to come up with ways that he provided in a way that good things happened to the Israelites because they followed his obedience. The second activity that we're going to do is a craft, where we're basically going to be cutting out these circles and pinning them on top of each other, and you're going to make a spinning wheel. So this one down here shows all of the different 10 commandments, and one at a time they're going to come through that wheel right there. So that's a little interactive craft we'll do for the 10 commandments. And one of the discussion points for this is we're going to try to help the kids see the differences between the first four, which really have to do with loving God, and the last six, which have to do with loving others. And so we're going to have the kids try to rephrase these four commandments that are things like, honor the Sabbath day. Well, what does that mean? Okay, well, here's number 4, set apart the Lord's day for worship and prayer, right? Or do not use the Lord God's name in vain. Well, what does that mean? So we're going to use this craft activity as a way to get the kids to think about what those first 4 commandments mean, so that we can really articulate how to love God. If you don't know where to find this PDF, it's actually in Planning Center as an attachment. So use your Planning Center app or click on the RSVP, and you'll see that whole thing so you can look at it in detail ahead of time. Next up is a memory verse activity with a human spinner. So that's where just the person in the middle of the circle is literally spinning around. And that was not a computer effect. That was me actually spinning around. But you're pointing at somebody, and then whoever that is has to say the next word of the verse. So you must love however the verse goes. They're doing it one at a time. And so the kids in the circle are having to think about, well, what's the word that comes next? So there's a point to that game. And it's fun to get dizzy and have the kids spin around. The next one's interesting because we're going to do an interview. We're going to have kids pretend to be Moses, Aaron, an Israelite woman, or an Israelite child. And one person gets to be the interviewer with a real microphone, and they're going to ask these questions. And then the kids are going to have to pretend to be the Israelite child, the Israelite woman, Moses or Aaron. It's a fun way to get kids to personalize and think about, what would it be like if I was this Bible character, and how would I feel, and what would I think, what would my motives be in that? So that'll be a fun skit, impromptu, and some of your dramatic kids will play that up. They'll love it. The next activity is just a scramble relay where we're going to have the first 4 commandments in 4 different piles where the words are mixed up, and the kids are going to have to race one at a time. We're going to have one team versus another team, so 4 piles one place, 4 piles in the other place. And they're going to run, try to rearrange them, stick them up on the wall or lay them out on the ground. The first team to get all 4 wins. And that's the 10 Commandments. We will have some extra activities as usual in the event that you want to do something like snacks, or if you want to do the Bible, the books of the Bible. Let me see if I can show. Right up there, books of the Bible activities. We'll have Slapjack again. Going to stock us up on some drinks and some snacks. But again, feel free to use the things that are in this, but make sure these are for adult access only, and don't just have kids run over here. We really don't want kids just running in there and getting whatever they want. Okay, we want it to be structured activities where you're building relationships with the kids. All right, thanks a lot. We'll see you later.